Hey everyone, and welcome back to Legally Teaching and Engineer Sports. I'm Dylan here with Max Loga. Today will be Friday, May 30th. Today's episode 134. It's not always about par. Bogeys will take you far. That's right. Max, what does that mean? What are we doing?
What a poetic title. I will give you snaps for that one. First time hearing it. I like it. Today, as always, we're going to do our round table or Vino vibration vibe moments. Serenity now, our question cooler talks. But the main segment, we're honored with a golf expert. I'm just going to leave it at that with a golf expert. And we're going to let him talk about himself and gloat and make us all feel bad for being bogey golfers.
Yeah, I like it. A golf expert, potentially. We will have the one and only owner and operator of Bogies Indoor Golf of Tawas on air, Mr. Paul Vayner himself, to discuss his journey of the Bogies, to discuss being the head coach of Tawas boys and girls varsity golf, and just maybe talk whatever else he wants to talk about. It's going to be a great episode. Let's get it going. Episode 134 of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports. It's not always about par. Bogies will take you far. Running down a dream. Tom Petty.
What was that cup you drank out? Was that of Illuminati?
Oh yeah, it was.
I stared into the eye of the Illuminati.
No, I saw you looking. 2 weeks. It's gonna be Friday the 13th, so be on the lookout.
You know where I'll be?
Come
Dirty
here.
D. Dirty D getting a Ty Holton bobblehead.
On Friday, they're giving a bobblehead away on a Friday.
Oh, you're right. That's Saturday. Ludacris is Friday night.
There you go. I'm gonna be in Washington D.C. getting even dirtier. They have a concert that night too. I don't know who theirs is. It's someone Ludacris-esque.
Oh, Battle of the Concerts. All right.
All right, let's go. Let's start off with Vino's vulnerable venting vocalization, presented by Furbo. Hoping to not miss a second of your four-legged furry friend while you're away? Don't fret, as Furbo is your go-to gadget. For those extended trips away from your small, sweet soul, Furbo allows you to keep eyes on, pass out treats, and even talk to your not-so-friendly cats, not-so-travel-friendly cats or dogs. Head to Amazon now to purchase your own Furbo today. LTES, in conjunction with Furbo, is not responsible for any scandalous, romantic entanglements and disclaims any and all liability related to or stemming from marital misbehavior. Four legs, one sweet soothing soul, a cuddling champion, and fan of the finer foods are Forever Cat King, Sir Vino. Max, what is your Vino's vulnerable venting vocalization?
You want me to go first? Are you sure you want me to go first? All right. Well, I'm going to use the easy out as RIP to Sam. He would say the low hanging fruit. Tarek Skubal in his last start against Cleveland Guardians. 13 strikeouts, 2 hits, no walks, under 100 pitches. Threw 102.4 on the last pitch. If you're rounding up, we just call that 103 in my math. So shout out to him for being an absolute dog. The Tigers needed a win to salvage that series-esque. They got it through Scooble. It was poetic. So meow.
Yeah, 5 out of 5 whiskers. Well done. Snaps and claps to you. Derek with a T was on fire that Sunday Memorial Day weekend afternoon. Tigers needed him. Put the Guardians back in their place. I will shift quickly to my Vino's vulnerable venting vocalization. It's me as an usher at Comerica Park. I'm 5-0. You're welcome, Detroit. You're welcome, Tigers fans. 5-0. So I just went 3 in a row as an usher in Comerica. 3 different locations. Was able to watch the game essentially for all 3 games. Enjoyed the hell of it. I was boots on the ground. I think you were too, Max. Maybe just in a far off distant land for Scooble. It's pretty awesome. The final out, some mother was trying to ask where the kids line up for Sunday kids run the bases. 2-2 count or 1-2 count, whatever it was. I said, hold on now there, miss. Strike 3. I could do a couple fist pumps, and then I say, over there. Kept it going. But yeah, shout out to the Tigers for real. Yeah, they did lose 3 straight to the Guardians, but bounced back with a win and then proceeded to sweep the NOS second place San Francisco Giants, a very good team. Um, and I know they've got some injuries they're dealing with. Veerling's back onto the IL. But Wenzel Perez is back. Looks like Parker Meadows will be back soon. So shout out to Tigers for just being dogs. Yeah.
So, I
Meow.
mean, even though they basically lost, they did lose 3 out of 4 to Cleveland. They actually came up out of that series as it stands now. They were only 5 games ahead. Now they're 6 games ahead. So, shout out to Cleveland for going wherever they went and losing.
Yeah. Shout out to Kev. He's a yeah.
Shout out to Kev.
Kev
Uh,
knows ball, baby.
yeah. So, Dylan, back to your ushering. Where's your favorite spot in America? I feel like you've been well traveled. Where's your favorite spots for?
Yeah, I feel like they're starting to like me as an usher, but probably not. They just don't trust me with the scanner. Um, so I've had left field a couple times as an usher for early or late spring, early summer. Good spot because I get to be in the sun for most of the time. Not fans who typically really care that much, not like too diehardy. So pretty chill. I like that. I was behind home plate, um, on the concourse basically. So I was in the padded seats behind home plate, a little more persnickety. Had to manage the crowd, had to keep them behind the line, so didn't love that. Um, and then I've also been essentially first base side, kind of on the concourse, and that was all right. A little more chill as well over there. So I'd probably say left field right now, but I'm really hoping for upper deck. I think that's the goal eventually to get up upper deck and then just enjoy life. What about you, Max? You've had a couple of games. Where have you?
Yeah,
What did you do?
I've worked too. I had a great spot right behind home plate the first time. Second time, as you mentioned, I was boots on the ground for Scoobs there. I was in purgatory. I was in right field, had one small TV. I had to do a catcher's crouch see, kind of look off to the left. Had to listen to the roar of the crowd. Um,
Ooh,
Purgatory. I will say right hand up if Village Company's listening to this. I did let a couple fans in for free. So sorry.
we do not uh, affirm or acknowledge or align with the teacher of legally teaching engineer sports. Yeah, Max, you're also you mentioned Sam when you're doing your Venus vulnerable venting vocalization. Sam's still on the IR DL. Like you said, RIP might not be coming back. So I guess that goes to one of my topics in the roundtable. We are looking to have open interviews. So if anyone would like to put their name in the hat, DM us, reach out to us personally via text, comment on our YouTube, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe so we can get our attention. Let us know. We're planning on having 2 rounds of interviews, one off air, and then we're going to actually have you get on air and interview the one of us with the other and see how the camaraderie and back and forth is. So we're going to have two people in the finals. So if you want to put your name in the hat, please reach out.
I
A
love
little,
I mean, we are looking for a third open opportunity. You can put it on LinkedIn, Indeed, boost that resume.
absolutely. Well, world-renowned podcast, Legally Teach Engineer Sports. We would rather you be an engineer or like some sort of technical background so we can like fake it a bit, but we can smudge your title.
Yeah.
Max, what do you have for roundtable?
I'm gonna shift to let's talk playoffs. Let's just jump into the playoffs. Um, 3-1 Oilers. I'm looking for my fridge magnet here tonight. We're videotaping this on Thursday. The Oilers are gonna take the lead here and win. They're gonna go to the finals again against Florida. Thoughts on hockey playoffs?
Yeah, it's Florida Edmonton, no doubt about it. Feels like it's Florida's to win again, but I'm really hoping Edmonton figures it out. Um, I guess those are my thoughts. What about you?
Yeah, I mean nothing much. I was very shocked yesterday. Wednesday night, I was watching a hockey game. Carolina up 2-0. I went to go brush my teeth, take my contacts out. Came back to the TV. It was 2-2. I go, what the hell? What happened?
I get ESPN updates, and I got updated. So it's 2-0. Like you, I left to go brush my teeth or something, and came back, and I got an update. It said 2-2, and I like scrolled on my watch. I'm like, there's no 2-1. How did it happen? Because they scored so closely together. ESPN just said F it and just updated it as 1. Yeah, and then they kind of went and unleashed their wings against them and took them home.
Exactly. Yep.
So I don't know who you got if it's Florida Edmonton.
I'm going to go with Edmonton. I'm going to ride my horse. I think I picked them in our NHL preview way back when to get there. I don't know if I picked them to win. I actually think I picked Winnipeg, but they're still Canadian. It's close enough.
Fair enough. Yeah, I had Canes, Oilers, I think, in the repick. No, I had Stars. I had Stars. Damn it, I had Stars. So I will flip and go Oilers. I think I'm gonna ride with you. What about basketball? So I think it's a foregone conclusion who's going to be the NBA champion. Um, East has a little bit of maybe you don't know, but I feel like the Pacers were doing it like you said Thursday night. Pacers have a chance to close out the Knicks. I think the Knicks will squeak one out. At least we'll have something to watch Saturday night. Um, I think the Pacers get to the finals. So Thunder versus whoever. I think the Thunder have it in the bag. What do you think?
I agree. Honestly, I would love to see the East go 7. Just give me some more sports to watch, more
Yeah.
interesting sports to watch. So let's go Knicks for the time being. But I do want the Pacers to get there. And like you said, I think OKC is just gonna chew them up and spit them out and say thanks for coming. That was light work. So
Yeah, give me a sweep or 4-1. Yeah, lame. Oh well. Good one. Good one. Did you watch the Indianapolis 500?
I did not. I watched 2 laps and said, "All right, I got my fix. I can turn it off. I'm an American." Did
Nice.
you?
I watched none of it. I watched the guy sit like you reported back, sat courtside at the Indiana Pacers game, full suit and helmet in hand. That was my most Indy 500 of the weekend.
Can we confirm or deny if that was an actual Indianapolis 500 driver or was that just a fan?
Can do neither. Um, can do neither.
Okay, it just gave vibes of the Oklahoma City Thunder guy that dressed up in full uniform like Alex Caruso and sat courtside. So it gave those kind of vibes that he was.
I think that was that Trent dude, that shitty better guy, who was doing.
Okay, okay. You saw that guy too, though.
Yeah, I saw that. Speaking of Memorial Day weekend, did you watch the national championship game in lacrosse?
I did actually. That was one of my questions for your questions tonight.
I'm
Trivia.
on top of all sports. You should know this, but talk me through Cornell's win.
I didn't watch any of it. I just saw who
Oh,
won.
I didn't either. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't either. Yeah.
I saw him put the ball in the net more than Maryland, and that was pretty sweet.
All right, let's keep moving. Don't care. Did you hear who Wingstop is partnered with? Once a great Pistons partner, they have moved on to the game of baseball.
I was gonna say, oh, it's definitely gotta be the Rockies.
That's correct.
They're bottom dwellers through and through.
Rockies win, you get 5 free wings. It's like Wingstop knows who they are, and they just seek out the trash.
Yeah,
Maybe it resembles them.
I did see a stat. I don't know if the Rockies have played since, but it was yesterday. If they won out, they could still secure the best record in all of MLB. So there was still hope. But they may have played. They may have already lost.
They fired their manager. They aren't good. Yeah, I don't know. No
Uh,
one's gonna be there this summer.
I saw a highlight about the Rockies as their second baseman. I'm not don't ask for a name. The ball was hit through like first and second. He just threw his glove at it. He threw his glove at it and then ran and picked up his glove and they just threw the ball to second. So
Nice.
that's the state of the Colorado Rockies right now.
That's awesome. Um, let's stay on baseball, sort of. Women's College World Series started in Oklahoma City. Some drama in game 2. Oklahoma walked off Tennessee, pretty sick, only because I put them in a parlay. Other than that, I could care less. Do you have any thoughts, feelings, or aspirations for the Women's College World Series?
I do not. It would be pretty sick to see a new Big Ten team win. So either Oregon or UCLA. I'll take the
Anyone but Oklahoma for me. And then I'll even go further and say anyone other than the SEC. It's gonna be tough. There's 5 SEC teams. The only non-SEC teams are Texas Tech. You just mentioned Oregon and UCLA.
Yeah, that is so true. Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Ole Miss.
Yep. So I would hope I'm rooting against Oklahoma first, and then I'm rooting against the SEC. So we'll see what happens.
Fair. I can get behind that one. Did you
What do you have?
see
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
new NCAA men's basketball commissioner and his projected bid to expand the March Madness tournament?
I did not see that.
He wants to go to 72 or 76 teams from 68. And the only thing hanging it up is the TV rights. So Warner Brothers and CBS have to cut a deal with NCAA. And that is where they're holding up a deal.
I don't like it. I don't think.
He said in his article I read today, he said or mid to late summer, there will be a decision. So it's going to happen fairly quick here if they are going to extend it. But that's the holdup because they need announcers, people to get places like cameramen, and obviously like airing slots. So that's the biggest.
Next year.
It would already be next year.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's the biggest gripe thoughts. That's what you said. You don't like it. Why don't you like it?
I don't know. I'm getting old.
You don't want more
Starting
basketball?
to look around rooms where I'm not the young one anymore, and I guess I'm starting to think like that. Um, I don't know. I guess it makes it less prestigious. It allows more teams like the 8 and 9 Indiana Hoosiers who have no chance of winning a national title in. Yeah, I guess it allows like the Belmonts of the world in, but they also have no chance, and it kind of like waters down the madness of March. It was already a crappy March Madness with no but one buzzer beater. I think the whole March Madness.
Mhm.
It wasn't never. I'm never gonna say March Madness is crappy, but two March Madnesses in the past, it was a lesser March Madness. So I don't know if adding teams is the fix. But what are your thoughts? You seem to maybe be on it.
No, I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said it makes it less prestigious. That's why they have the NIT, and then they made up some other Pac-12 and Big Ten tournament,
Yeah, where you get $1 million or something.
whatever that was too. So they're watering it down. That they're kind of going the route of everybody gets participation ribbon. Oh, you get one. Come on over. You can have one too. Nah, I agree. Watering it down. Not a big fan, but as the commissioner said, it's all about the dollar signs. So that's what they're after.
Dollar bill, y'all. Speaking of dollar bills, Michigan football, uh, heavily paid roster. Did you see some times that got announced for them this year?
Oh yeah, first few
On,
games under the lights.
yep, NBC and then ABC, I
Yep,
believe.
yep, yep. Against
Was it ABC?
Oklahoma. ABC against Oklahoma.
ABC. All right, so that's gonna be Herb Street. Good stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. First two games under the lights, and then doesn't really matter after that. But yeah, I just wanted to mention
They
it.
got a 3:30 on CBS against Nebraska
Okay, there you
at
go.
Nebraska, and then a Wisconsin, either a 3:30 or a noon
Yep.
TBD'd on the TV station. So that could be a
Yeah,
big noon kickoff if Wisconsin's anything of anything.
that's a good point. And then Nooner for I think Central on Big Ten.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the ones released. But back to March Madness basketball. You slipped in there. See who's coming back from Michigan.
Oh yeah, Yaxel baby, Landenberg.
Oh, number one overall transfer in the portal. He's coming. He declared, or not declared. He
Drew. Yep.
retracted from the NBA draft. He's coming back to Michigan. So that's sick. I saw a
Very
projected starting lineup. The smallest guard is going to be like 6'3".
yeah. I saw the same thing you saw. So the projected starting lineup is Kado from North Carolina, point guard. Shooting guard is going to be Namari Burnett. The three, and so the backup shooting guard, by the way, is Trey McKinney, the All American from Michigan.
Yeah,
Um, the three will be, I believe, this is where I might not know it. It's going to
probably
be
going to be him. And then,
Roddy Gale. The four is going to be Axel, and then the five is going to be the transfer from Illinois, the 6'10 transfer center from Illinois, and the backup is a 7'6 guy from UCLA.
yeah, wild.
They look sick. I mean, top 10, top 5 team probably coming out of the preseason. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm just excited.
Gotta
They
live
got
up to it. Gotta live up
yeah,
to it. Yep.
they have a random game against Duke, I believe, in like February in Washington D.C. or something. Very odd.
Mm, that's pretty
Anyway,
sick. I didn't know that.
and they also play Wake Forest at Little Caesars in November.
That'll be a good one too. All right, that was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff. College basketball getting hype in end of May. I like that. Let's keep going on basketball. 4v4 black top tourney and Taoist. Travis needs people to register. So if you're a GHLer who got some skills in ball and you're not old as shit, and you have 3 friends or 4, sign up, reach out to Travis ourselves or Jamie, Nickel. And if you want to become a YouTube sensation, do it for that reason too, because we're gonna broadcast some of the games. Not all of them, because there's gonna be 2 going on at once. So we may have to pick and choose. Um, we will do interviews. We're probably gonna drink beer during this, so hopefully Travis okays that. I don't know if he can or can't. We'll just do it anyway. Um, yeah, we'll probably puff some cigs, maybe drink some beers and call some basketball. So get signed up and registered with Travis Simmons or Jamie Nickel. What else you got, Max?
I'm just gonna give a shout out to my Wings. I don't know if you're keeping up in the WNBA, but my Wings got their first win of the season, sitting at 1-4, baby. One and
Yeah.
four.
So you've got the questions tonight. One of mine would have been, what 2 teams don't have a win yet in the WNBA?
Connecticut Sun and I know the Sun are a lock because that's who the Wings just beat. So I don't know who the other one is though. Who is it?
Second, probably most popular team, just because of the controversy.
Well, I don't know.
Chicago.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Angela.
Yeah. Angel Reese. Over in the win column. I think they're favored against your Wings tonight by a point at home. Chicago. So we shall see.
Free money for the Wings.
There you go. Any further?
Did you see who's on the cover of NCAA football?
Two. So if we're talking just the cover, not the deluxe, it's the two receivers. If you're talking the deluxe cover, you've got Denard, you've got Bryce Underwood, you got the Michigan flag.
I was after Denard and Bryce Underwood.
Yeah.
Pretty wild that Denard's on it because I'm pretty sure didn't he get a DUI and somehow like he's like still on the cover.
Yeah, but Reggie Bush is also on the cover, so F it.
That's true. I did see a thing. Michigan is the only school to have the cover artists of any sport in back to back to back years. So they've had it 3 years running.
Because it was Denard and then skipped 12 years and then it was
Donovan, and now it's Bryce and the whole collective thing. So
that's cool.
yeah,
Very cool. Good one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I still have the other game. I haven't played a ton. I need to get back on that. All right. My last thing. French Open's going right now. It's ongoing. Who do you got?
Sport I have not watched. This would be for 1,000. Give me the Spaniard. What's his name? Can't think of
Carlos.
it. Carlos. Give me Carlos.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler is a big fan of him. Likes his ass. I'll take Yannick Sinner, the Italian. And then we just
Sinner, the Italian. Okay.
Yep, and we just won't pick the women's because
Coco. I heard Coco. I was watching part of my take today, and I heard she's still in. So give me Coco.
All right, I'll take Cocoa Puffs too. Sounds good. Yeah, okay, that works. Anything else for the round table?
That is it for my round table. I'm all set.
All right, let's get to Serenity now, presented by Newport Menthol Lights. Yeah, we might have them in Dallas. If you need a puff courtside, come see us maybe. America's classy, smooth cig. Stressed out at work, overwhelmed at home, or distraught with a disappointing team like Fulham? Don't panic and just puff on some Newport Menthol Lights. Long puff in, deep breath out. Newport menthols have been silencing stress and greeting customers to heaven since 1957. But Sniper Cigs Fast as a ban on menthol cigs is currently under debate by the FDA. Light, suck, puff. Newport Menthol Lights. All right, my Cerny now. It really should be Doris Burke. She's so hard to listen to on ESPN. We're going to have a whole finals of that shit. But I'll digress and do something else instead. Umpires. Umpires specifically making it about themselves. I was watching the first game of the Women's College World Series. They couldn't even throw a pitch, and an umpire had to come over and kick second base and tell the grounds crew that it was too loose for them to play on. It was a 7-minute delay because the second base umpire for the Women's College World Series had to, who knows what, have something wrong with his undies. And shout out to Phil Cuzzy for being an absolute a-hole and ejecting Javi Baez for quite literally nothing after he was the person who got the pitch wrong. So, Phil, you're an a-hole. Also, ushers, slight shout out, who make it about themselves too. Fans are just there to watch the game. Don't be an annoying a-hole. And fans, don't be an annoying a-hole to the ushers. Come on.
Amen.
Is there any freaking now?
Amen to the Phil. I was watching the broadcast while Don was there. Maybe our judges were listening, but all they keep saying is that Phil and AJ had a history. And they think Phil took it out on Javi. So shout out to Javi. Keep being a dog, dude. Don't get down.
Yeah, be a cat, be a tiger. All right, let's move on now, Max. This will be where before we get to Paul and the main segment of Legally Teaching Junior Sports, episode 134. It's not always about par. Bogeys will take you far. Let us do our Cooler Talk questions presented by Bogeys. Shout out to Bogeys Indoor Golf of Taos. Bogeys offers a premium year-round golf experience. Bogeys features golf simulators with hundreds of courses, mini games, and driving ranges galore, all featuring and driven by TrackMan, the most trusted tracking tool of Scotty Scheffler and Tiger Woods. From free rental clubs to all your favorite on-course refreshments, Bogey's is the perfect location for your next private event and is available year-round to host anything from fundraisers, birthday parties, bachelorette parties, graduation parties, and all your baby-related celebration type things. Mention Illegal Teaching Engineer Sports Boys for half off your simulator play at Bogey's. Yeah, I mean, with graduation season coming around, I feel like that's a great spot to have your graduation party. Dads can get a little liquored up, moms maybe even too. Yeah, it seems like a pretty sick spot to do this at, I would say. I also know that it's a good place for all other types of people, like the drama club in Taos, the players club, the drama, like I don't know, the show, the play show.
Yeah, I know exactly. I was trying to think of the name. Yeah.
They had their party there. So honestly, Bogies can host you and host all sorts of things. We're going to talk to Paul here in a second. It's a great interview. Looking forward to have everyone listen to that. So let's move on and get to our cooler talk questions. Max, the floor is yours.
All right. We're going to start off with number one. Number one. So the Detroit Free Press just released their All-Century team. You probably saw it. Who is the shortstop for the Detroit Tigers on the All-Century team?
I did not see this. This already has me stumped.
Whoa.
All century.
Shortstop.
So it's got to be Alan Trammell.
No.
Who is it?
Carlos Guillen.
I would disagree with that. That's crazy.
All right, so since you haven't seen it, let's go around. Let's see if you can name who they put in each position.
I would go Placido Polanco at second, then I'm assuming.
Yep, Placido's at second.
That's crazy too. I would have put said Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, okay. Third base.
All century. So we were talking like 2000.
I don't know what
century means.
Yeah, century.
Okay, so I took century like for longer, so I guess I would have changed that answer. Okay, first base has to be. Is it Miggy or Prince? I'm gonna go Miggy. Their assumption.
Definitely Miggy. Why would Prince even be there?
Well, if it wasn't Miggy, if they put him at third or DH.
Okay, there is a DH. Yes, there is a DH.
Victor Martinez.
Yes. Third base.
They don't have very many third basemen. It could be Brandon Inge.
It's Brandon Inge.
Okay.
Left field. Yes,
left field.
Catcher's Pudge. Yep, Catcher's Pudge. Left field.
Left field. So I want to say Johnny. What?
This one threw me when I saw it.
Oh, so it could be Magli Ordonez. It could be Johnny Peralta. It could be Craig Monroe.
No, it's Bobby Higginson.
No way.
Yeah, see, that was my head scratcher. Give me center field.
Curtis Granderson.
Yep, and then your right field's Magli Ordonez.
Okay.
Manager,
that's crazy.
Jim Wheeland. And then your pitchers.
Verlander.
Justin Verlander, Skubal, Max Scherzer, Doug Fister, and Anibal Sanchez.
Yeah, I agree with that. Nice. I did not see that. That's good.
All right, number two. There's a soccer team that has put a Visit Detroit ad on their jersey recently. Who is it? Well-known soccer team.
Don't know this one either. What league?
It's like Spanish. Like very
no idea.
Juventus.
Barcelona. Oh, Juventus.
Juventus has Visit Detroit right across their chest.
Why?
The city of Detroit must have paid them. I have no idea why.
Is it Detroit, Michigan, or is it like maybe it's Detroit, something that like Juventus in Spain?
I'm pretty sure it's Michigan because it looks the same.
We'll need our intern, our new hire to really look into that one.
Yep. Number three, who won NCAA men's golf?
Don't know this one either. Damn it. I know you didn't know this. None of these off the top of your head. I actually did see who was in it, I think. But I don't remember. Oklahoma State.
Holy, grab from your back and hit the railing. Oh, it is Oklahoma State. Good job. All right, on to our next. This one should be a layup for you. Who won the Premier League?
It should be. But I have two teams in my head. Was it Liverpool or Arsenal?
Ooh, which one?
I will go with Liverpool.
It was Liverpool. Good job. Just a little shout out. Who finished in the rankings high? Brighton did. Thank you. And where's my last one? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. Where did I put my last one?
I'll ask you the fifth.
All right, ask me the fifth.
What's Kobe Bryant's middle name?
Kobe Bryant's middle name?
Yeah.
See, you just gave me shit for having to look these up. There's no way you knew this. Uh,
Well, actually, we went and visited Kobe Bryant's statue, and it's on my Aura picture frame. So yeah, I did know this.
I have no idea. What is it?
Bean,
What is it?
Bean, Kobe Bean Bryant,
Kobe Bean Bryant.
and it's because his father, his nickname was Jelly Bean because he was a sweet tooth.
Well, that's good to know.
Yep.
Respect.
Yep. All
Oh,
right. You found your fifth one.
I found my fifth
What
one.
is it?
So we didn't talk about this, but all the teams that talked about the tush push, I was gonna have you try and list the teams that said leave it in the game.
There's seven of them. I don't know. So I'm gonna go Eagles, Lions. It's nobody in the NFC East. I don't know. No, I don't think the Bears said yes. I don't. Maybe the Vikings. Maybe the Chargers. Raiders. Patriots.
All right, now you're going a little off. Those the Eagles, Ravens, Browns, Lions, Jaguars, Dolphins, Patriots, Saints, Jets, and Titans.
Yeah, no way. I wouldn't have had that. Nice. Good job, Max. All right. It's been a superb episode of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports, episode 134. It's not always about par. Bogeys will take you far. But now it's time for us to throw it to ourselves and feature our interview with Paul Vayner. All right, Max, welcome back to the main entree of episode 134 of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports. It's not always about par. Bogeys will take you far. We've got our main guest, Mr. Paul Vayner, all the way from Taos, Michigan. Paul, a Falcon, a Timberwolf, a resident of the greater Taos area, a coach, and an owner and operator of Bogey's Indoor Golf. Paul Vayner, welcome to Legally Teaching Engineer Sports.
Hey guys, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for hopping on. We've been so behind the scenes. We've been trying to get Paul on for a while now. He's a coveted guest, a coveted GHL, Great Heroic listener. We're happy to finally have him on. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. I think the number one burning question our listeners are going to want to know: how did bogeys pop into your head, and how did bogeys
Yeah.
be something that you wanted to take up to Northern Michigan, to Taos, Michigan?
Sure. So I was in corporate sales and marketing for my entire career. And around COVID, I had some epiphanies about how I wanted to live the rest of my life. And making terrible people and corporations money um, moved down the list of my priorities. I had a background in consulting, working with small businesses, primarily business development, lead generation. So I worked with found a gig working consulting with a radio station in West Branch, which is about half an hour, 45 minutes west of here. So I've had a cabin in Taos. It's a tour for those that aren't familiar. It's basically primarily a tourist town, northeastern Michigan, on Lake Huron. If you hold up your hand like this, I'm not know if this is going to mirror or not, but this is Michigan. We're right here on Lake Huron.
Yep.
And so I've been coming up here my whole life, and I've bought a place up here when I was in my early 20s. And I was like, man, this would be the coolest thing is like work on this radio station and be able to live at my cabin. Like it's the dream, like make a living at the cabin. Like, let's go. And so I was doing that. And then I saw they were hiring for a golf coach in Taos, so in early 2021. And I like, this would be the coolest thing ever. Like be able to coach for a year, have that experience, worked corporate sales and marketing, and never had the time to do anything fun like that. So we did that, got the gig with four kids. We raised $7,000. And with that money, like, what do you spend $7,000 on? And I was like, well, we get the hats, we get the polos, quarter zips, all that kind of good stuff. The best thing I could do is get these kids a membership to an indoor golf place. There was not an indoor golf place within an hour and a half of any direction.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, granted, you can't go east. I go east for about 3 blocks and I'm in Lake Huron, but you go north, south, or west, and it's literally an hour and a half away. So, like, well, they're everywhere in Metro Detroit, originally where I'm from. Like, I've made enough terrible people money. Let's give this a shot ourselves. So just jumped in feet first, and having never worked in hospitality, having never worked in retail, just that's it.
Wow.
So let's go
Wow.
for it. And so we have, I mean, my golf kids are still actually we just walking by, and if you could hear them, I have golf kids in here all the time. Actually, I don't know, you kind of see all the beer stacked up behind me. I'm in the office slash liquor and beer storage room at Bogey's here while my bar is full. And my varsity golf kids, as long as I don't have paying customers, my kids can come in here and golf for free. I give my team an unfair advantage. So
That's so sweet.
it's a big part of why I started the business. It's a third place for people of all ages, including kids. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the third place. Your first place is home. Your second place is work. Where do you spend your third place? If you're leaving your house and you're going somewhere and it's not work, where are you going? It's Bogeys. That's where people go.
That's awesome. Wow.
So yeah, I just had a bunch of my girls in here. We started the first ever girls golf team. So I got hired in 2020 for the boys. I started the girls golf team. We had our first full varsity season last year, had a lot of success. The boys team has been a resounding success as well the last few years. And it's all kind of been one hand washing the other. You know, I'm the golf guy. I have the golf sim bar. So I have a reputation where it's all fit. I utilize the technology that we have to make these kids better so much faster. You know, running golf camps. We're starting all kinds of junior golf programs here in the area. It's been a lot of fun and it's been a lot of work. And early on, I didn't see the returns for the effort. But now you start seeing the success that we've had with the boys and the girls. It's been pretty awesome.
That is sensational. Holy moly, Paul. That first off, hats off to you for that being the reason why you started Bogies. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So coaching came first. Didn't know that. That's exceptional, sensational. A lot to unpack. Max, I'm gonna turn to you for a question, but that's just awesome, Paul. That you didn't start Bogies for a purpose of making money or anything like that. It was to enhance your team and to do it for the kids. That's awesome. Very
and cool. I can tell you, if I would have done it purely for money, the first couple of years would not have been successful. But it's community building. It's giving back. I've done well in my life professionally, and it was more of just something else I wanted to conquer and to make better and bring to the community. If you come to Taos, there are a few bars that are a lot of fun to go to. There's one that people love to go to most. You don't want to rip off an old TV show, but it is 100% Cheers. You come in, everybody knows your name. Everyone knows your golf game, for better or worse. And it's the only place in Taos that you come to watch sports. You know, we are the sports bar. We're the golf simulator. We'll have the audio on for your game, unlike anyone else.
That's badass. All right, so we're from Taos, Paul, but
yeah.
I mean, sports. You're right. Sports bars. It was probably, I'm gonna say Jack's, maybe.
Like they call themselves a sports bar, but and Barnacle Bills will always have the game on.
But you're stepping up into it.
We are a sports bar, meaning that if you come to my place and you want to sit down and watch whatever game's on, you will 100% have the opportunity to have a competent sports conversation with the bartender and someone else sitting by you.
Love that.
It's different than Barnacle Bills is going to have on the game. It's a great bar. I go there all the time. Yeah, for sure. Like, no doubt. But it's just a different vibe.
Yeah,
it's especially, God, I'm getting old. Once you cross 30, Barnacle Bills is not always your home away from home after 9 o'clock at night. It's a young man's game out there. So if you want to hang out and have a conversation with somebody you're buddies with, someone you haven't seen in a while, have some sports on and have some good conversation. Argue about the infield fly rule. We got you.
Love
Track my best and argue sports. That's the place, Bogies. We have a new slogan. Let's go. Max, pick your question.
Yeah, so you hinted at it about the season. So before we got on, I went to MHSAA. I looked at boys golf regional, but they don't have any scores or anything. So how did the season go? What are we working with?
Yep. So just a little perspective. Taos has probably, over the last 15 years, is probably the best public school golf program in the state of Michigan. Wow. We have finished in the top 10 9 of the last 15 years. We have finished 4th or better 3 times, including a state championship in 2016. When I took over in 2021, the cupboard was bare. The last coach, last kid graduated through. And when I came in, I had 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores who had never golfed before.
Wow.
Fortunately, one of those sophomores who'd never golfed before happened to be one of the best golfers in program history. Actually, if you look on my Facebook page, tagged him in it. He's now a sophomore playing for Ferris. and he has a great internship out in Connecticut right now, and he was playing with members on a hole in one on a 350-yard par four. He actually holds the record at Red Hawk with a 64 from the back tees.
Awesome.
But so we went from having these 4 kids to then having 14 the next year. And like, hey, anyone who wants to play golf, come in and play on the simulator. So there's kids who come in who never would have played, and then you get the bug, and then you just get the itch, and like you want to golf. So we've grown this program where now that I've been here, I'm finishing up my 5th season. So it was that first year, even though we had the kid who won the regional championship as a sophomore with 73, we came in like second to last out of 20 teams. Next year, a lot more experience, had a great freshman class who are now currently seniors. We came up at the middle of the pack, maybe 9th, 10th out of 20. The next year, we get through regionals and make it to states. We finished 4th in the state, Alex's senior year. That was 2 years ago. Last year, even after Alex graduates, we finished 6th in the state. I bring my entire team back, with the exception of one kid, my whole team back. And this year we won our conference by 10,000 miles. And we just came in second at regionals, which the top 3 go to states out of 20. So we put up a great number, and we're going to states next week. So we are one of 18 teams left in Division III in Michigan. And we are one of the favorites to put up a good enough number where we might get some hardware.
That's awesome. Paul, I will say I graduated. So I graduated in 2016 from Taos, and the won that golf were some of my best friends, are still some of my best friends.
So it's really cool. And I'll probably, once we're finished up here, I'll walk out there. I had a replica made of the street sign that says Taos City Limits 2016 state champions. I had all those guys, Bryce, and all the guys came in and signed their names to it.
That's so sweet.
So you got a rep, right?
Absolutely.
And it's funny. The city manager from East Taos came in. He's like, "Everyone loves the place now. You move downtown, but could you getting that changed to East Taos and Taos City?" I said, "No, because in real life, East Taos doesn't have the placard on there. The state champs. It's like the school's not in Taos City. East Taos can do that too." So I gave him a challenge. Like, hey, you get that sign put up on East Taos, and you come in and out of town. I'll put it in my business.
Damn right. That's spot on. I like that. So, all right. So your favorite potential, not favorite, but great chances.
We're probably one of 5 teams that could possibly win states. There's a number you have to shoot to win states. And actually, we've shot that number a number of times this year. In an average year, we would be the overwhelming favorite to win states. However, there are some really good teams here in an abnormally competitive year. So we're in the conversation, and especially it's high school athletics. Like the variability that scores can have is massive. If we play a good round that is absolutely on the table, then we could have something special like that this year.
That's awesome. All right. So you kind of just talked about it. High school athletics, golf. All right. So like even when I was in high school, I didn't play golf. I did baseball. You can only do one sport at a time. But I had a ton of friends on the golf team.
Sure.
They told me basically it was just going out there, shooting 18 holes and calling it a day and going home. Some of them even might have smoked some weed on the course. I don't know what they did back
Very
then.
possible. I've heard some very devious stories from back in the day. If those guys would have had actual, like, I don't know, man. I don't want to talk crap about the old coach because actually he's a great guy and knows more about golf than I do. But it seemed like those kids just kind of, they're out there raising themselves.
Yeah. So this is where my question comes in, though. How do you coach golf?
Yeah. So most of the actual coaching gets done during the off season. That's when strides are made. That's when skills are improved. Because if you're going to change somebody's swing, it's 100 swings before they don't feel terrible about it. It's 1,000 swings before that becomes their new swing. So you have to break it down small bit by bit and what we're going to change. You take the low-hanging fruit. You can't change more than one thing at a time. And you kind of set them up for success with a very specific plan and what we work on. And repetition, get comfortable with it. In season, it's more about just cementing fundamentals. The basics, and especially putting. We're not outside for 6 months, even with the simulator. We're not outside. So there's an hour of putting practice every day, and the kids hate it. It's the equivalent of conditioning for cross country. Like it is what it is, man. It's part of the sport. You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
So they have to make 103-foot putts in a row. We have a bunch of different competitive putting drills. Do my best to simulate competition level stress while at practice. And the best way to do that is to incentivize them to no longer have to putt. So you finish these incredibly difficult drills, then we'll move on to something else. So it adds pressure. Maybe not as much as the tournament, but it adds pressure. Like if I miss this 3-foot putt, I have to start over, and I'm going to yell some loud obscenity because I'm very upset I have to redo this. So doing our best to kind of replicate those situations, and it really is different. So like this year, I have these 5 seniors who've been with me for 4 years. Every single one. I mean, regardless of the size of school, I have the hardest hitting team in the state of Michigan. Every one of my varsity golfers hits the ball over 300 yards. I have a couple kids that carry 310 to 320. Like they hit the ball hard. They are ball strikers. They are golfers. And then to counteract that, I have 16 kids on my team and 3 eighth graders that are managing. So I take kids who've never golfed before. I have 6 freshmen. I have 3 sophomores. I take these kids, and they are not working on the same thing as my 5 seniors are. So I'm very fortunate that I have an assistant coach who is an incredible golfer in his own right, who's been helping me. But we have to basically have 2 separate game plans. So you're working on different skill sets, different mentalities. I'm not going to be working on course management with guys the same way who are breaking 75 routinely as I am with guys who've never broken 100. The good thing is that we do a lot of things together. There's a lot of fundamentals. Everyone needs to work on 30, 40, 50-yard pitch shots. Everyone needs to work on putting. Everyone needs to work on lag putting. Everyone needs to work on 3-foot putts. So there's a lot of things that we can all do together, and it's great to see the young guys watching the better guys, how they operate, how they practice, watching their all of just their entire process, and understanding the level of effort it takes to get better and better. Just like anything else, there's basically you get out what you put in. If you want to put in the effort, you'll get better. Some people just get better faster than others, but if you put in effort, you will get better. And a big part of too that I've seen is it's very much a curve. It's not a straight line. It's not direct, where early on you can make massive gains. So going from somebody who averages, if I take a freshman who averages 65 for 9 holes, I can get him to averaging 45 faster than I can take someone who's at 45 to average 40. So it's the slope. So especially in Division III, it is not my goal. It's not my job to take somebody who shoots an 80 as a freshman and get them to shoot par as a senior. Well, that's great. That's a job for somebody who is competing at the highest level. Mm-hmm. In Division III, I need to take athletic kids and have them want to golf. Yeah. I take everything I do is about associating golf with fun and friends. So the kids get together, they have a good time. I mean, you go out to Red Hawk, our local beautiful course in Tawas, and over half the people who work there are my varsity golfers. Over half.
That's so
that
cool.
way they can golf for free. So they're inundated with golf. They golf with their friends when they're having fun. They're out on the putting green when there's no customers there. So to get them to want to golf, to get them to have fun golfing. It's a big part of the simulators. I spoke at a training seminar for the Michigan Golf Coaches Association on the benefits of how much simulators impact kids. Yes, we'd all love for every kid to just, you know what, I'm going to go grind for 3 hours on this mundane task that'll make me a better ball striker. They're never going to do it. You put a net in front of a kid in March when we can't go outside, they'll hit 12 balls into the net. Maybe your really, really diehards will go in there for half an hour and hit the ball. Simulators, good God, I have to beat these kids out of here. It's like, guys, we're closing. Get out of here. You're not even paying me.
It's like it's the technology, right? It's like you're on an actual course. It's really, really cool. That's awesome, Paul. I mean, Max, first off, I think we should go to the school of golf featuring Paul Vayner. So
I know that was kind of I have one that's on here, like, how could you make me a better golfer? But I think I just learned. My question for you at Bogies. So like, can you get in your simulator, right? You get your bay or whatever, however it's set up. Can I play at Augusta?
We have over 1,600 courses, including Augusta, Pebble Beach, TPC Sawgrass.
So like, you're speaking to these kids.
This is the craziest part. This is the craziest part. One, out of my 18 varsity events this year, 18 rounds, 16 events, 16 event max is all you can have in MHSAA. Out of the 18 courses we played, I believe 14 of them were on my simulator.
Oh, wow.
Including regionals and the state finals. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's cheating. I'm saying I'm giving my kids a little bit of a leg up.
Use your resources.
Yeah. I'll tell you, what's crazy is the most popular courses that are on my simulator are the ones that are local. It's Red Hawk. It's Huron Breeze. It's
That's
the dream
funny.
and the nightmare in West Branch. And what's hilarious is we actually crowdfunded at Bogey's to get Red Hawk made 3 years ago by the same designer, a buddy of mine, the guy who designed Augusta. Well, it's Georgia Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia. We can't use the real name; that's trademark. But so the guy who built that course is the same guy who built Red Hawk for us, and I mean, it was like $1,200, $1,500, and I said, hey, anyone who comes in here, if you want to play Red Hawk on a simulator, prepay for your rounds. I put up a huge banner on the wall. It was like a blood drive. We're slowly working our way up. Once it gets made, come in and play your round. We had a couple of cool little scramble tournaments in here. Drop and scramble. It's a 2-man scramble at TPC Sawgrass. The winning team gets half the money. The other half the money goes towards getting the course made. And so we got Red Hawk made. It's our most popular course. What's funny is there's one house on the course behind the 11th green, and I had the guy build a 50-foot long billboard behind that green. And it says, as paid for by the patrons of Bogey's Indoor Golf Taos. And right next to it is our team varsity golf logo. It says, home of the 2016 Michigan Division III state champions, Taos Area Braves.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So pretty cool stuff.
Sick.
Do you think it's the most popular because you have people that are coming in there spring, winter, whatever, just preparing themselves for their leagues or like
So
trying to get better?
There's a few different types of customers that we have in this industry. The first are your diehards. Your diehards are people, and I am a working professional. Typically, most of them, I'm going to say your early 30s until your 50s. And part of that is because it's a lot of money. It's not a cheap thing to do if you're coming here 2-3 times a week. You have your diehards. That's right. I spend my disposable and expendable income on golf. Those people are my lifeline and my lifeblood for 3-4 months a year. They can't get outside. They're golfers that need to golf. They're in here all the time. They make up most of my leagues. And then you have similar, but not quite. You have your retired golfers. They want to come in here all the time, but they're very price sensitive. They come, oh my gosh, I got to tell you guys, you're going to love this. So every Wednesday morning, all winter, from like October 1st, basically once it gets below 60, and the old guys don't like being outside anymore, from basically October 1 through the end of April, we have what they refer to as the grumpy old man scramble. They come, I didn't name it. I stole the name from Singing Birds. They have the same league. So they come in every Wednesday morning. It's a drop-in league at 10 a.m. And we're from 6 to 12 guys on our 2 bays. They come in, they draw playing cards for who's on whose team. They put a couple bucks down. They play a little Keno, and they have a Bud Light Chelada, and we're going for it, playing at Augusta or Pebble Beach or whatever we're going to do. And I said, that's how I'd want, if I'm stuck in Taos in the middle of winter when there's 2 feet of snow, I'm going to be at Bogey's hanging out with the boys, gambling and playing and drinking a Bud Light Chelada. You know what I'm saying?
That's electric. I love that.
Sold.
This is awesome. Oh my gosh. So you're open year round at Bogey's, correct?
Oh yeah. So I mean, we're obviously busiest in the winter.
Yep.
I mean, we're packed to the gills all winter. Pretty much from Thanksgiving on until usually the Masters weekend, weather pending. We're booked up. I mean, I think we did 25 Christmas parties this year. We have like a 2,700 square foot location right in the heart of downtown East Taos. It was the former location of Fusion, which I can't believe that used to be in here. Fusion was like a handbag boutique that was very, very pink. They moved around the corner to probably a better spot for them, more visibility. They didn't need all the square footage. So we're right downtown. We have great parking, and we're downtown, which is an anomaly. And it's the place that people want to be. We have our full bar. We have a couple of bays. And since we don't really do food, people can bring in outside food. So people bring in pizzas, they bring in catering. We have menus from Jack's and Mango's. Bring over a tray of tacos. We had one party that was so big, a server came over from Jack's and just took everybody's orders and brought them over.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So it makes it so that way, if you rent out both the bays, you get the whole place. I have a huge dining area behind the bays. And Bogey is specifically designed with a couple things in mind. And one of them is community. Eventually, like everything else, technology will get cheaper and cheaper, where people can have a very high quality simulator in their home for a better and better price. Same idea. You can drink at your house. You can watch sports at your house. It doesn't mean there's not a place for a well put together sports bar. And so I'm embracing that from the beginning. You come to Bogey's for the community and the experience. So my bays are open. Everybody in the place sees everybody golfing. Everybody's hanging out. Everybody's having a good time. And from everyone sitting at the bar, we have people who come in every single Tigers game, like retirees. They come in every single Tigers game, and they bitch at me where I sit because I'll sit in the way where they can't see the screens as well. They want to watch people golf, and they want to watch the Tigers game because that's the entertainment. They walk in, where's my entertainment? I need a bottle of wine.
That's funny. See, now I'm very bad at golf. We still plan to come visit you at Bogies. We're actually coming up July 12th. Our buddy Travis Simmons, he's hosting a blacktop tournament. So we're hopefully
Travis is in here every now and then. I'm not going to put
Okay.
his business out there too much, but Travis is a good man.
Yes, he is. I was the best man in his wedding.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But so we're coming up on the 11th or the 12th. So we got to stop in that Friday night.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna hit some balls. I'm very bad, so that makes me a little nervous, to be honest. Right? Like people watching me.
And that's half the fun. Is there's a reason why. Listen, Birdies is downstate. We're Bogies. The whole point of this business is that you are amongst friends. The average golfer in the United States, not the average person who calls himself a golfer, who golfs once a week, the average golfer does not break 100. The average golfer cannot hit their drive over 210 yards. 95 to 99% of people who golf are here to enjoy time with their friends and become slightly inebriated in the process. That's what we're doing here. We're out in nature. We're having fun with our friends and family.
That's awesome.
That's the best part about Bogies. If you, let's say, a diaper party. You guys familiar with those?
Yep.
I found out recently that those are a Michigan thing. So if you have people who are watching this, I know you do, outside of Michigan, diaper parties are basically an excuse for a guy when his wife gets pregnant that the guys get together and the admission ticket is a giant package of diapers. That way the family doesn't have to buy diapers for a year and a half. Everybody wins. It's absolutely awesome. And if you're going to have it, like I've had them at a golf course, you mainly talk to the guy that's in your cart and you see the guys you're playing with. At Bogies, you are hanging out with everybody. When was the last time you golfed as an eightsome? When was the last time you golfed with 25 people around you?
That's true.
And on top of that, there is this rift. We talk about not being able to golf, a rift between I can't golf and I've never golfed, and I'm comfortable swinging in front of other people I don't know. That is a big, scary gap that this industry has not solved. The best solution yet is a place like Bogies. We set it up casually. Like we have these parties. I mean, I had all of the Taos area schools teachers in here for their Christmas party. I donated a couple hours for their whole Christmas. We had 75 people in here. And we had 2 bays, and it still works because we know how to throw a party. We have a close to the pin contest at Pebble Beach from 90 yards on one side, and then we have a close to the pin contest at a putt-putt course on the other through the windmill. So everyone comes in, everyone's drinking, everyone's eating the food that's put out, the crock pots, the pizza, whatever you got. And at the same time, everyone's up here competing in something that they can give it a shot, and they're having a good time with it. So it's like having a party, except a lot less money, and everyone's doing something active and having fun.
That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like you've got things rolling, figured out. I loved your quote. We're not birdies. That's downstate. This is Bogies.
Yeah.
It's electric.
I was telling people, like, listen, if you want to go to Birdies, that's down in Oxford. They have a great facility. That's downstate. Up here, if you look at my logo is a dude with a beer belly and his shirt untucked. And the first version had a dude with a mullet, and I thought it was 2 on the nose.
I love that. That's awesome. All right. So we've got a few questions left, Paul. This has been excellent. I've got one. If you can key in on one, it might be tough. But craziest moment so far with coaching or Bogies. You can pick one.
Coaching or Bogies.
Like surreal or just what the hell just happened?
I had a private party for 12 hairdressers at Bogies. Let's see what else we got. I can tell it's tough to pinpoint a single incident without calling anybody out, but Bogies is a place where people come to let their guard down and have fun.
I love that.
Sometimes people just let it fly a little bit. And then even you talk about varsity kids and golfing. I'm not a parent. I'm not a teacher. They're not at home. They're not at school. And yet at the same time, I'm still an adult. So I hear things and experience things they don't trust with other people. And it's an amazing trust, and also something that sometimes allows things to get out of hand when I get to hear stories about things I don't want to hear about. Nothing I shouldn't be hearing about, but it's like, guys, we're not that close of friends. Um,
Right.
so nothing to get too specific, but it's just I mean I've seen usually the balls stay in the base pretty well, but sometimes people have a couple too many drinks and some might fly around a little bit or I don't know. Usually we're pretty good because it's not really the bar that people come to get hammered. It's the bar people come to hang out and
Talk sports and
yeah,
talk sports and hit
get a
some
little
golf balls.
rowdy. I mean, at the Michigan Ohio State game, we probably had 50, 60 people in this little bar, and it was slamming. Dude, when Michigan won against Ohio State, dude, the roof blew off the building.
Yeah,
As it
we're big
should.
Michigan fans. So
As
that's
it should.
all right, I got one. Just more general. Do you golf? Are you good at golf?
Decent, and then it's funny because that's a really loaded question. You ask anybody outside of Tiger Woods in the year 2000, are you good at golf? They're all going to say, well, maybe, yeah. Compared to who? Am I good compared to like an average league golfer? Yeah, I'm pretty good. Am I good compared to my buddies who suck and can't break 100? Dude, I'm the number one dude in the scramble. However, I got another group of friends where I'm the guy who tees off first because I don't hit the ball far enough.
Right.
Like you take the best golfer at Red Hawk, and he's going to just absolutely embarrass an average guy. But that guy's going to get embarrassed by some guy you've never met on the Corn Ferry Tour. And that guy's getting embarrassed by some guy you've never met on the PGA Tour. And that dude's getting embarrassed by the guy you watch on TV. Yep. So good at golf is a loaded term.
Let's say so you are above average for the.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're looking at statistically, like,
yeah,
I think it's only 35% of people ever broken 90. I probably average in the low to mid 80s. Like the number, I think it's something like 10% of people ever broken 80. So I'd say we'll put me in the top 10%.
Damn, it's impressive.
Well, maybe like 11%. Like sometimes I get on. I've gotten under 80 probably.
All right, so Paul Vayner, good at golf. Max, what's your question?
All right, so there was that great debate going around when the Masters was on.
Uh-huh.
That if you took a good golfer like yourself, put them on the green, you start on the green, could you win the Masters?
No. People have no, and I'll tell you where this comes from. This comes from people not having the data set in which people utilize to answer this question is incomplete. Most golfers have never golfed at a real golf course where the ball's rolling at 13 or 14. Mm-hmm. Those of you that are not super familiar with golf terms, there's something called a stimp meter. It's basically a little ramp. They roll the ball down, and however many inches the ball goes, that's what it's rolling at. So your average municipal course probably rolling at 8 or 9. A really nice course like Huron Breeze Red Hawk, you might be at 10 or 11. These country clubs, these amazing courses, 12, 13. The Masters probably rolls at a 14. It's really tough to put that into real terms. What I can tell you is an average golfer who has a league round and I'm typically in the mid 40s. They would go there and would just suffer. Watching some of my varsity golfers, my kids are golfers, like kids who are college golfers if they want to be, kids who hit the ball 300 yards, kids I've watched make 50-foot putts, 70-foot putts in tournaments at nice courses. Watching these kids when we go to Detroit Golf Club where they host the Rock Mortgage Classic, going to Warwick Hills where they used to host the Buick Open, going up to Forest Dunes and the Loop, which is a true link style course and one of the best resorts in the country in the center of northern Michigan. And watching these kids struggle at these courses, it's like putting on glass. And knowing that is nothing compared to what's at Augusta. You gave a guy who is and that'd probably be a bogey golfer, an 18 handicap, 16 handicap. If you gave that guy a month of a few hours a day putting on Augusta greens, he's got a shot at parring. He's got a shot at parring par fours and par fives.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that anybody who you'd have to be. I mean, unless you're someone who you are that bogey golfer and you play at some really nice country club where you have buried elephants in your greens. That's an industry term, I guess. Big giant hills in the middle of your greens, big crazy breaks. Yeah, buried elephants in the green, big giant hills. Unless you have just crazy greens that you're used to, it is just such a night and day difference. It's a different sport. It is putt. It's closer to putt than it is real golf at the course that average people play at.
That's gross. All right, Max, do you have one more on the docket?
That was my last question.
All right, that was a good last one. Paul, I can tell you're very passionate about golf. You know the ins and outs. It sounds like kind of the terminology very well. you seem to follow golf pretty well. Is it your most followed sport? And if yes, that's awesome. And if it's not, what is your most followed sport? What is your favorite sport to
So
watch?
I played 6 sports in high school. Back then, golf and football were at the same time. And I played both freshman year. My sophomore year, they said, you have to choose one. And I was actually a football player. Much better at football than I was golf. I'm a big football guy. I'm a huge Michigan guy, huge Lions guy. Any Detroit sports. I don't know. It's a weird thing where it's like, obviously, like I'm a homer, but like I really don't have interest in watching. The NFL is different. I love the NFL and I love good college football. But if my on every other sport, if my team's not playing, I don't care. If it's Sunday night baseball,
Not
unless it is a pennant race and it is Twins White Sox, if it's Twins Guardians, and we're fighting for a spot, like for sure, I'd be interested because it interests my team. Yeah, I mean, I love my sports, and I was in high school when the Pistons were awesome in 04, 05, 06. So like die hard with that. It's been a rough, honestly, up until 3 years ago, it's been a pretty rough decade for sports in Metro Detroit and Michigan. I mean, probably outside of Michigan State football, which I'm a Michigan fan, so that makes it even worse. You have D'Antonio, who I have the utmost respect for, running an outstanding program where he takes 2 and 3 stars and turns them into NFL players that are disciplined and stay to their senior year and fight for their teammates, which pisses me off. That's the way a program should be ran, and it's not mine. So outside of that, like, you had some terrible Pistons teams, some terrible Tigers teams, Red Wings. I mean, geez, like the Lions. Guess we had Calvin Johnson, but like, yeah, he left because he didn't want to die for a team that couldn't win 4 games.
We're turning the corner now, though. Turning the corner.
God, yeah. You want to talk about like building a program right? I mean, geez, what the Lions are doing out there. I was the first guy that's like, absolutely not. I'm just not going to believe they're going to win until the Fords get rid of them. No shot. Love Dan Campbell, but like, listen, is he really a coach? I remember when I think it was they beat the Vikings after they were like 10-1 or whatever it was, and they finally beat the Vikings for the first win. I was so angry because being a Lions fan, I'm a professional draft guy. That's what I have to love. It's the only day that we can win. We can't win on Sundays. We can only win on draft day. So when I see my first overall pick going, when I want to get a new quarterback, because we have Jared Goff, who should have just been that's just a stopgap placeholder for his contract, which at the time felt like an albatross, and then felt like a really good value. It was like $28 million. Like this dude went from like this dude is not worth anything to we have a bargain with him. And thinking that I'm so pissed that we won. And then you like see what Dan Campbell says about it, and you see what some of these guys on that team about how much it meant to them to win those games and to turn the culture around. I mean, like I don't know if there's anything I enjoy more than a Dan Campbell post game win speech. Just getting fired up, get the kicker involved. That's who is the player of the game. Like we're getting after it, and you can just tell he sells out for his team, and the players love him.
Yep.
It wasn't done out of spite. It wasn't done because out of professionalism. Like the guys that, well, it's my job. I just have to do it. It's like, no, they are ready to go to the ends of the earth for this man, and I respect the hell out of that.
Me too. Damn, Paul, you got me fired up. Thanks for joining us. That's all the time we've had for Legally Teaching Engineer Sports, episode 134. It's not always about par. Bogeys will take you far. A quote from Ben Hogan: the only thing a golfer needs is more daylight. Except at Bogeys.